on to you, Capricorn. So look, you have the Page of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and you have the Two of Cups. So these cards right here, moving forward from, like I said before, moving forward away from heartbreak, honestly. Still looking for a good relationship, that one that's very good for you, a good fit for you, built for you. The Star card and the Nine of Swords. The Star card, you want someone that's been waiting for somebody like you, right? A Capricorn. You know, somebody that has a lot of determination and the fighting spirit, you know, the ability to, no matter what happens, still stick it out, no matter how difficult things may be, you know, has that tenacity to be in a relationship, because it's going to last very long term. It will be someone that will last for a very long relationship, right? For someone that can be in a very long-term relationship instead of just calling it quits, simply because, and that's what the Star card represents, simply because they may end up being bored, right? And a lot of you may see that a lot of people call off relationships because of the fact that they may be bored at the moment. And to a certain extent, they may be very well bored, but at the same time, you don't break up a whole relationship simply because you're bored. You just spice it up, you know? But this is the reason why it is that I talked about how everybody should start off relatively small, boring, however it is that you want to call it, because you don't become addicted to the highlights only. And then when things don't necessarily go to a highlight perspective, everybody knows what a highlight is. If you don't know what a highlight reel is, or a highlight is like when you are looking your best, right? So when you're looking your best. So the thing is that when you start off small, you don't condition somebody to automatically think that it should just only be up and it's only going to go to the sky. Nothing in reality and nature operates like that. Nothing. Not stocks, not nature itself, the trees, the grass. There are some blades of grass that are taller than others. You understand what I'm saying? So what am I saying? I'm saying that a lot of you Capricorns are realizing that if a person that is going to ultimately look at you and start to devalue you based upon them being bored, or things may not necessarily be going at a right pace for you, because maybe that's part of the reason why the two of you broke up in the first place. You and you know, people that you've known in the past that you were getting to know, they just didn't want to stick out the relationship, marriage, relationship of any kind with you. It was never anything where they wanted to stick out with you. You know, they wanted to actually maintain this with you. It was very much so all about just, you know, they're only there for you when things are going well, when you're at your highlight, right? Your highest moments. But you better not go down. And instead of them, you know, cheering you up, spicing things up with you, sticking it out, gritting it out, right? Seeing why Capricorns need to be respected, because Capricorns go through a lot of nonsense. What did some of your past relationships, how did some of them end? With a person that you thought at first that was there for you ending in tragedy because they didn't want to be there for you, with you, there with you. But you Capricorns understand that you want somebody that's built for you, someone that automatically has this level of understanding that not just because things go bad for you, that it means that you should automatically leave. And the Nine of Swords represent, so, you know, since you're looking for someone like that, the Nine of Swords is about how other people, though, I will say this, The Nine of Swords is about like how you shouldn't kind of worry about if you're gonna find someone like this. It's honestly, honestly, it's just a matter of nature. Like it is, I said before, if you're going through a time, no matter what zodiac sign you are, where you're striving to be better and it's getting more difficult to actually be with somebody for a long term, you have to understand that the reason why is because most people are on the three levels of consciousness, which is animalism, which is trying to satisfy their own desires, and control, mob-like mentality, right? Being feudalistic, control, like the Roman Empire type of mentality. You understand what I'm saying? And being parasitic at the same time. So when you Capricorn strive to not be parasitic and to do the Capricorn thing and to offer something great to other people, some sort of benefit to others, of course that's going to make it difficult for you. As far as to make dating, especially in a modern day era, difficult, because most people, this is where you get the BPDs and the people who the psychopaths and the sociopaths, because they're consumed with control. Like I said, the Roman Empire, the way that they interact with others is from controlling, controlling and having control over others, and dominating and trying to force other people to assimilate into their own reality and their own perception is what I'm trying to say. And the Judgment is about how, but a lot of you Capricorns, your consciousness has changed though. That mentality used to be ingrained in you for a certain amount of time when you were coming up. But as of late, that is not the important consciousness. That is not important to you anymore, because your consciousness has raised, in the sense of you're now on stage 4 level of consciousness and beyond that, right? To the point where there is no more numbers, if you know what I mean. So I'm saying all that to say that is not the type of consciousness that you have. So you Capricorns, what am I saying? I'm saying you Capricorns have to understand that as you're dating, that's the type of people that's out. So you have to keep in mind that not everybody is going to be at your level where you have compassion for others. They're not going to have compassion for you, because most people in society is on the first 3 stages of consciousness, thinking about their own selfish needs, control over others, and solipsism. They're them being surprised that they actually have to be considerate to other people. That's number 2, right? Number 1 is animalism, purely satisfying your own needs of survival and desires. Number 2 is surprise of solipsism, i.e. consciously being aware now in the level 2 that now other people need to be considered or taken into taken into account. And number 3 is trying to control others, right? And force people to live in a consciousness in which you see the world, is what I'm trying to say. But you Capricorns are not with that. So the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands and the Lovers represents, you want someone that can be straightforward with you and yet at the same time pure of heart, right? Someone that doesn't necessarily have any kind of ulterior motives, because they kind of already let you know what it is that they're looking for. Are they looking for you to do some things for them sometimes? Yeah, but nowhere near the level of you being a play toy, Yes, you know what I mean? That healthy form of love, right? No ulterior motives, where it's like they're going to act like they like you, and do all this, all to get a Birkin bag. All this, from my perspective, me personally, all this dumb stuff just to get a Birkin bag. It's a little bit wasteful, but other people see it differently. But then you have the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords, which represents, so a lot of you Capricorns, because your consciousness has changed, that means that the way that you are dating has changed. The way that you will continue to date has changed. And it's good, because it means that you are changing, growing. It means that you're actually learning from the things that you did right, but also the things that you can improve on. And the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords represent one of the things that you Capricorns are learning to improve on is not allowing other people to show you constant warning signs about who they are, or maybe even a gradual that's my dog over there, a gradual degradation of them in the consciousness and the relationship, but in the relationship that they have with you, and just staying quiet and not doing anything. So you Capricorns are definitely going to take more action, in the sense of when you see someone that you are getting to know is not going into, and the relationship is not between the two of you have, based upon your own choices, are not staring, the relationship is not staring itself into a area where it's getting better. You Capricorns are going to see it for what it is, the first couple of signs, and you're going to begin to question it. And if it continues to move forward in that direction where it's not really beneficial to your own existence, your own health, you'll leave them alone. Because one of the things that I'm learning about you Capricorns from these readings and being a reader myself is that you Capricorns may have regret, and not regret in the sense of like you personally regret leaving people per se. It's more so about regretting the timing that you're leaving. Like, why didn't you leave sooner? So let's clarify the Lovers. Queen of Cups, Eight of Wands, Empress, Knight of Wands. To clarify the Lovers. So once again, the Queen of Cups and the Eight of Wands is all about you Capricorns, still having that harsh, realist perspective, which is what's needed in this regard, because the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Wands is about how some people's ability to kind of glamour you is not going to work anymore the same way that it used to work when you were inexperienced and you were younger, right? Just because you're young doesn't mean that, you were dumber. It just means that you lack experience because you were so young, right? So the two is correlated, but it doesn't necessarily mean that one causes the other. But the thing is that the Empress and the Knight of Wands is about how, and because of the fact that people will have a more difficult time kind of buttering you up so fast and love bombing you, so to speak, it's going to require way more verification in the sense of time, and way more of a commitment, and just sit and patience and sitting back before you Capricorns become kind of sold on being with anyone just because they tell you that they like you, or they may love bomb you, or they may come on too strong. So I'm saying all this to say that you Capricorns are very, very much so becoming quite aware at not only yourself, but your surroundings, and how to maneuver your way around dating others, because you're able to kind of understand on an instinctual level now, because of your experience, and just make fast, quick decisions when somebody is being really honest with you, when someone is faking it. So that's pretty much it for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe.